Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical updates. Today I'll start with super microcomputer that has bounced strongly the past 2 weeks or so and has actually established a nice little uptrend here, a massive move about 2 weeks ago, a little bit of correction and then a new high here. Also we had the RSI closing above the 60 threshold, supporting the bullish trend here that could take it up to around 50, maybe 52. If it closes back above this level here, 51.89, well then there's potential higher, and then we're also back above the cloud. We will be back above 100 moving average with bullish positive sentiment here. If it takes out the lows from the 29th of November, well then it will most likely resume downtrend. On the Asian market, we had the Hang Seng this morning, also pushing a little bit higher. There's potential up to around 20,000, where we have some resistance just below. We also have the cloud resistance, but we could actually push it up to around 20,320, 22, where there's some resistance here, and the 55 moving average is still rising, so it's dragging it up a little bit. Negative sentiment still on the RSI, but it's back here above 40 threshold, could push towards 60. That will be key to see what's going on there. Since we have started a new week, also a new month for that matter, well, then we'll also look at the weekly chart here on S&P 500, new all-time highs in S&P 500 yesterday, and also in the shorter session Friday, we are above the 6,000. We could push higher. However, short term, you can see the RSI, there's a little bit stressed there, meaning there's divergence. So we are a little bit stressed, and I think we could see a correction. We often see that after the Thanksgiving holidays and the Black Friday, and we also have here on the weekly, we can see a massive divergence on the RSI. So we are quite stressed, but I still believe that we will see a fairly strong market going into the end of the year. Nasdaq 100 had a very good day yesterday, and actually spiked to new all-time highs and also new all-time close in a bullish trend. A little bit divergence on the RSI, but I think we will push higher here in the coming weeks. Also on the weekly, despite having massive divergence, the uptrend seems to be fairly strong. Buyers are really in a positive mood. So I think we will also push to higher towards the year end. The Dow Jones index was a little bit lower yesterday after reaching 138. Projection of this correction here. We can remove this bearish engulfing that did come into play, but now has been cancelled and taken out, and we spiked just above 45,000. I expect a little bit of a correction lower, but I also think we'll see it pushing higher here. What is key here on the weekly, we'll see that the RSI is testing the upper falling trend line, and that if it closes back above it, above the falling trend line, then I think we will see higher levels on Dow Jones going into the new year. On the European markets, we have EUROSTOXX 50. We have EUROSTOXX 50 that had a very strong bounce yesterday, on the back of a quite good Friday too. I think we could see it bounce further up to around 4,900, where we have some resistance. We have the 100 coming here, we have the 55 and the 200 here, and we have the previous support level here just above 4,900, 4,907, 4,908. So I think we'll see a setback. I think we'll get up there, and then I think we'll see a setback. The key will be, will the RSI close above 60 threshold or not? On the weekly, we can see it has always had the better part of the year actually had positive sentiment, but been struggling quite a bit. And if it can get back above 60 threshold, well, then there's potential higher. An index that has been fairly strong, or really strong here the past few days, is actually the DAX index. After breaking the upper falling trend line there, pushed higher, and now it's pushed to new all-time highs and is very close to the 20,000 level. And I think we'll reach it maybe today, maybe tomorrow, and then I would expect a correction. The RSI in positive sentiment, a little bit divergence, but it could take it out and cancel it if it closes above 69.32. On the weekly, we are pushing higher also. We have the RSI in bullish trend or bullish sentiment. There is divergence, but it's broken this falling trend. We can draw a trend line, and I suggest you do that. Draw a trend line on your RSI just as well as you draw on the actual price. The CAC 40, is struggling, but I think it will maybe be pushed higher, dragged higher by the other indices, but it is really struggling. 7,300 and 7,341. That it really is key that it can close above that. And I can hear pre-market actually down 0.25%. So it's really struggling of the European markets. Euro dollar, well, it bounced a little bit towards the end of last week, but yesterday got hit by selling pressure again. It did manage to close above 106.10 here, and I think we could see it resuming downtrend. If it takes out 104.25, well, then I expect a push towards a 102 level. It really needs to take out 106.10 for upside potential, but at the moment seems to be really struggling. Cable sterling dollar actually did take out the little resistance we had here at 177.15, but then it got hit by selling before it actually reached 50% of the downtrend here, and it is testing 126.12 yesterday. Little bit of support, but not much. But if it takes it out, and if we get the RSI to close back below 40 threshold, then I think we'll see a push towards 125 once again. That could be taken out. If it takes out the spike up here for in the past 24 hours and then Friday at 127.50, well, then expect the correction to move higher and actually put that horizontal. If it takes out that, well, then expect a move up to 128.35 level. Euro sterling spiked lower once again yesterday, and it's quite interesting. Spiked lower for a third time. So there seems to be some strong buying or support in this region here between 82.60, 82.70. It must take it out for further downside potential. We are in a bearish trend. We are in this falling wedge-like pattern, but maybe we are in exhaustive mood and could push higher. But still, I need to have it above 83.75 and above the falling trend line there for any possible bullish trend establishment. Moving on to dollar yen, testing the 149.40 support, which is also 50% of this uptrend here, but it's more key that the testing 149.40 could bounce from this. So we have a battle between the 55 moving average that is rising and the 100 daily moving average that is declining. So we could be caught range bound in this area here. There's a battle going on. RSI is negative sentiment being below 40 threshold, so that will also add to the negative picture. However, if there is a strong resistance up here at 151.45. If it can get back above the 200 moving average, then there could be potential higher. But if it takes out the lows from here, it did spike below the 149.40 yesterday. If it takes out the lows from yesterday, then I think we'll see a sell-off down to the 61.8 retracement, 147.40, possibly dipping down to the 147.20. The euro yen is really being sold off over the past, end of last week and also continued this week here. There is potential. There's no support until around 155 area down here. Negative sentiment, no divergence, indicating we are likely to see those levels being tested there. We are a little bit stressed, but I think we could get down there. Maybe a little bit of correction, then next sell-off. 155, really the key strong support level. The Aussie yen also in bearish trend below the cloud, below 98, actually closed below the 61.8 retracement here at the 96.95, potential down to the 786 retracement, 95.48 area. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. We have negative sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating we are likely to see it pushing down there to that level. Maybe not all the way down to the key strong support at 93.50, 60, but it is not unlikely. But I think we will see a bounce from from this 95.47 level. The sterling yen closed below support at 189.55, trying now to get back above, but negative sentiment on the RSI is pushing, is telling us there's potential lower to 187.19, which is the 786 retracement of the entire uptrend there. And we are in a negative bearish trend. We are below the cloud. So I think we'll see a push down there to that level, and then maybe a correction up to test this area here again around just below 190. Aussie dollar. Well, Aussie dollar range bound between 64.40 was very close to test it again yesterday, and then the upper range is 65.50, so that's the range to look out for. Dollar Canada also range bound after it fell to close above 141. Tried to push up there again, didn't manage to do it, so I'd say it is range bound here between 141 and a change and 139 and a quarter. That's the range you need to look out for to break out of. What will be key is the RSI. If it can close back above the falling trend line here, then it could be an indication that will push higher. But for now, we have some divergence here indicating up trend has been stressed. But look out for that range, that is key. Sterling Canada spiked higher and around the little bit of resistance here at 178.37.40 level, testing the cloud from the underside, but negative sentiment still on the RSI, no divergence, indicating we are likely to see it resuming downtrend. What I will do, I will add a Fibonacci retracement just to get an idea where it could drop to. We could drop to the 50%, but I will say 61.8 retracement and 176.30 if it starts sliding lower and if we get the RSI back below 40 threshold. Euro-Swiss was still caught in this tight range here, spiked it to the 92, just above the 92. Really hard to guess the direction, but I think we will push lower. We have the RSI negative sentiment, there's no divergence, indicating likely lower levels. If we are taking a look at the weekly, maybe we can get a little bit of indication, but not that much really. See very strong support around the 92, spiked below, spiked to it a couple of times, then bounced. I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce up to the 93.50, 93.55 maybe, but it needs to get back up this rising trend line here, and then there's potential up to 94. The dollar Swiss, excuse me, the dollar Swiss, it is just pushing sideways here, spiked below yesterday morning, early session below 88, just below 88, bounced, which is a fairly strong signal. So I think we'll see it potentially bouncing higher here towards the previous peak at 89.57. If it takes it out, well, then the rising wedge-like pattern here has been demolished. If it takes out the lows from yesterday at 87, well, then expect a sell-off down to the 87 level, maybe down to the 86 level. What I will do, I will add another Fibonacci because we can take that last leg up there. That could be a key and interesting. We can actually hit it with 50%. The 61.8 is at 87.45, and we could see it down to around this at 86, 80, just below 87 if it takes out the lows from yesterday. And finally, on the dollar index broke the 106 support level to the 50%, bouncing here. There is RSI positive sentiment, but it is also showing divergence, indicating the uptrend was a bit stressed, but it is a fairly strong bounce it did yesterday. If it can get back above 107, then I think we'll see a push higher above 108. If it takes out the lows here from to 29th, expect a push down to around 105. Gold range bound, being very quiet lately in the broader picture. spiked just above the 55 moving average. That seems to be really key. Can it close above that or not? If it breaks below and closes below 2600, 2605, then I think we'll see a sell-off to 2575, maybe down to 2550 area here. If it can take out that little spike up there, and I think you should keep an eye on that, if it can take out that spike up there and stay above the 55 moving average, then and that spike up there is 2666 or 2667. Then I think we'll see a push to 2700. Needs to take out the 2722 for gold to resume its strong bullish trend. The silver, maybe that's a pre-warning that has spiked after testing. That has spiked below the 2970 and then bounced a couple of times. You see it over here also. Could move up to test the 3150, 55 level. Close above that, then I think we are back in bullish trend above 32, 33 level. If it slides back below 30 again, then we'll see this support there being tested. Copper. Well, copper has been a little bit frustrating lately, hasn't it? Just basically trading sideways here between, well, 400, really 405 and 418, testing the resistance here this morning. If it takes it out, well, then we're looking at 422.5, but I think we could see it all the way up to 429, 430. On the energy side, well, there's not much to say about crude oil. Is still in this range here between 66.72 and 72.80 with a negative sentiment. Brent crude oil, of course, also look out for 70s, but 72 support. On the Dutch gas, well, the Dutch TTF gas is pushing higher, and it has, if we're looking at the weekly chart, we can see there's potential up to 55, 56, maybe 57, very strong resistance here. We are in a bullish trend, we are in a positive sentiment. There's no divergence on the RSI on the weekly, so we are likely to push higher. The Henry Hub is struggling a little bit more, and if you actually compare it to the Dutch gas, it's actually more than four times cheaper. So Dutch gas is 4 to 4.5 times more expensive than the nat gas if you're converting it. We are in a bullish trend, but we can see here it is struggling to push higher above 364 and forming maybe this top and reversal pattern there. So that would be key to watch out for. The US 10-year Treasury yield has taken out 425. It did that there on the 29th. It spiked below the day before and then down to the 200 moving average. That's where we are trading at the moment. Very close to the 38.2 retracement at 415. We could push down to the 414 support depending on what's going on today. We can see RSI is bouncing off the 40 threshold. If it does that, it does close below, well, then, and we get the 10-year to close above 425, then I think we'll see the yields resuming uptrend. The 2-year Treasury yields opening lower today, pushing lower. I think we could see it pushed down to around 406, maybe 402, which is the 38.2 retracement. If it gets back above 422, then it is likely to resume uptrend. The EuroBund future has pushed higher after breaking the 134.25 bullish trend, supported by positive sentiment on the RSI. 136.29 is the key strong resistance that it is likely to. It could test here in the next week or so, but we are a little bit stressed short term, so I expect a little bit of setback and then next push higher. UK Gilts is currently being held down by the 55 moving average, but we are in a bullish trend supported by positive sentiment on the RSI after closing back above 60 threshold. I think we'll see it push up to just below 97, where we have 96, 90 around that level, where we have some strong resistance. Quick look at cryptos and the Bitcoin. Failed to close above 100, actually failed to break 100 and got a little bit of setback. So I'd say we could add a support line there which, oh, that was the wrong one. Here we are, which I'll do, say, okay, if it, that needs to be adjusted, there we are, 90,680, if it takes out that, then expect a push lower below to the 80,000 level, but I want to see that materialize first, and could push it lower to, let's see here, a little bit there, could push it lower, and just add here. You can also see how we work with this. We can add that one, and we could add this one, and then where we are, but possibly down to around the 82,000 if it takes out. There's a little bit support there. On the Ethereum, well, the Ethereum is in a bullish trend, but look at that, it actually made what could be like a top and reversal pattern. We also have divergence on the RSI, so we could see a little bit of a setback lower towards the 3,300. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you later.